The YouTube AI is demanding a Workhorse video from me. My subscribers are asking for a Workhorse update video, and well, I haven't made an update on Workhorse in a while, so let's talk about it. Now, there's a few channels that cover Workhorse on pretty much a daily basis, so I'm not going to bore you with the details of the recent $200 million that the company raised in new financing, which in turn helps them strengthen their financial position with a new cash balance of $270 million. And no, we aren't going to talk about their zero emission award from CARB, which is the California Air Resources Board, which in turn permits Workhorse to sell its C1000 extended range electric delivery van in every state throughout the US. And finally, guys, no, we're not going to be talking about how the USPS contract decision is potentially going to be delayed, which in turn means investors in Workhorse will have to wait even longer for an answer on whether Workhorse will be the home run winner that they're expecting. No, we're not going to talk about any of that. What I do want to discuss though is something that I haven't seen too much on YouTube about, specifically around Workhorse, and that is a proper technical analysis on the stock. This kind of brings me back to the original days of the channel because I did quite a few videos on technical analysis back then. But since I've kind of strayed away from that because I'm not really sure if you guys enjoy it or not. So if you do, you want to see more technical analysis videos on the channel, on other stocks that I cover, let me know in the comment section down below. And the best way to get my attention really is to smash that like button. And that lets not only me know that you like the video, but the YouTube AI as well, which pushes us out to a lot more people. Okay, so here's the chart of Workhorse today, and it may be overwhelming at first, but let's break it down step by step. Ever since late June, volume in Workhorse has picked up as speculation of them winning the contract became more and more realistic. Since then, we've seen a run from around $15 per share to the high $20 per share range, even touching $30 briefly, but in just the last few days, we've pulled back significantly. In fact, it's been such a sharp drop that the stock has lost 40% of its value in about a month, and that's some extreme volatility. And I think if you're a shareholder of Workhorse and you're holding the stock today, that is something you have to come to terms with and accept right off the bat. This is a volatile stock. This is going to see a lot of swings to the upside and the downside, and that's just the reality of the situation. Until we get more clarity on the USPS contract, until we know for sure whether they won or lost the contract, volatility is going to be the name of the game with this stock. Now, an indicator I like using is the moving averages, and I find that stocks tend to respect these levels, whether you agree with me or not, because there's so many algorithms and traders out there using these levels that it becomes kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, this is the daily view, and we can see that we breached the 50-day moving average, which is like our first mini line of defense, if you will, and that's the green line on here. We came down to this level about a week ago, we tested it, but we fell through as the bears took over. So this tells me that buyers at these levels were not able to overcome the selling pressure. But guys, that's fine, not really a big deal. Stocks do this all the time. And now we're kind of in between the 100 moving average, which is the orange line, and the 50. So now the stock's kind of consolidating in here, and we're kind of holding this next line of defense. As of today, you can see we're kind of hovering a little bit above the 100 moving average right now. We didn't quite get to test it fully just yet, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us actually test this in the coming weeks. We did try to break past that 50 moving average though, the green line, but that failed, and that indicates to me that this has now become a level of resistance for the stock. Okay, so that was a lot of technical jargon, I guess. So let's talk about it in simple terms. If you're looking at Workhorse stock today, $22 per share seems to be a point of resistance. That's where a lot of sellers are selling the stock. Buyers are not able to push it past that level. If we want Workhorse to get past this level, there needs to be a lot more buyers that come in, volume needs to pick up, and typically you'd need some sort of catalyst to push us higher. Of course, the USPS contract, good news on that, will be that catalyst. Also, on the flip side, the level of support now we need to watch is around the $18 per share price. This is where the 100 moving average is, and this is where you'll see a lot of buyers come in because, like I said, algorithms, day traders, these are levels that they watch, and this is most likely where they have a lot of buy orders set. So if we come down there, buying should pick up, and if it picks up enough, we hold that level. If for whatever reason we cannot hold that $18 price, Then we look at the next level, which is around $13 per share, but we'll discuss that in a second. Now, an important part of technical analysis is you have to look at multiple time frames. Looking at just the daily charts gives you a perspective, which is good, but you need to see a broader view of what's going on, and that's why I typically like looking at the weekly chart as well. Now, on the weekly here for Workhorse, we see a completely different story. Since June, yes, we've shot up, which is similar to the daily chart, but we're sitting now well above our moving averages here, and this is a sign to me of an overstretched stock. Now, for most charts, you want to see them be at least near the 50 moving average on the weekly, and just from my experience, this is generally a rule of thumb that I follow, which signals to me that the charts are relatively healthy. With Workhorse though, we see that it's so stretched from this 50 level that a pullback could be pretty sharp, and that's something we don't really want to see as a Workhorse bull. But you know what else is interesting? Look at the 50 moving average on the weekly, and it's, yes, around that $12 mark. Jumping back to the daily, this pretty much coincides with that 200 moving average, which is around the same level, around $13 or so. But for simplicity's sake, this is where you're going to see a lot of support. Now again, let's summarize. Workhorse currently holding above that $18 level. Look at the daily charts, it looks pretty good, but when we look at the weekly charts, I think a pullback is possible sometime soon in this stock. And if we do see a pullback, that $12, $13 range is where you want to see a lot of support. Now, in my opinion, and just based on my experience and history with the stocks and technical analysis and all that kind of stuff, I feel that it's quite likely that we come down to around $12, $13 in the near future. Now, I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. I know a lot of you disagree with me on that, and that's completely fine. And for the sake of your investment, I really do hope that we don't come down that low. But I think it is quite likely just based on what the charts are telling me. But keep in mind, I've touched on this before, Workhorse is really relying on that USPS contract to make this a worthwhile investment. If for whatever reason, the worst case scenario plays out and that they don't win any part of this contract, that's not going to be good for investors, because I don't think that we're going to see those prices of, the $20s, $30 anytime in the near future, unless there's some other contract that they could possibly win. If they win a piece of the contract, I think that, we can get a nice boost in this stock, but I don't think it's going to be as optimistic as initial investors in Workhorse were expecting. Now, of course, no brainer, best case scenario, they win the entire contract. That will in turn push the stock price up massively. Wouldn't be surprised to see like a 30-40% update in the stock if that's announced. But hey, that's all speculation. You and I have no idea if they're actually going to win that or not. So what I would say is to be prepared, just in case the worst case scenario plays out, have a game plan in place so that you're not left with your pants down trying to figure out and scramble and panic sell. So anyways, this is just a quick video, guys, kind of a different style, like I said, technical analysis, not something we do much on the channel anymore, but if you enjoyed it, like the video and comment down below letting me know you want me to do this for other stocks. If I see enough interest in that, I will make this a regular thing on the channel. Either way, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.